Hello, boys and girls. I wanted to read a story for you today. This is the story you probably read last week if you were able to get onto Mayan. If you weren't, it's okay, no worries, but I'm going to read the story to you now. It's called The Country Mouse and the City Mouse by Blaire. So this book is actually a fable. What is a fable? A fable is a story that teaches a lesson. In some fables, animals may talk and act like the way people do. A Greek slave named Aesop created some of the world's favorite fables. Aesop's fables have been enjoyed by readers for more than 2,000 years. Okay, I'm going to begin now. You could read along with me if you like. The country mouse and the city mouse had been friends for many years. One day, the country mouse invited the city mouse to dinner. I'm just going to stop here for a second, noticing even in these pictures that are not even real life pictures, but I could see that the country mouse is wearing very different clothing than the city mouse, right? The country mouse is wearing overalls and a little handkerchief. Looks like he works on a farm maybe. And the city mouse is dressed in fancy clothes with a top hat and a bow tie around his neck. So he looks like he might be going to a fancy dinner or something. Okay, let's continue. The country mouse opened his heart and his pantry. He prepared a dinner of plain country food to please his guest. And just to let you know, pantry, that is basically a place where you keep your food. You probably have a pantry in your house. I have a little closet in my house that we call the pantry. It has a lot of food in it that we store. The city mouse just nibbled at the corn, barley, and peas. He didn't like the simple dinner. He was used to eating fancier things. He talked about how good life was in the city. My dear friend, the city mouse said, aren't you bored here in the country? We have everything in the city. Why don't you come home with me and enjoy the good life? The country mouse quickly agreed. The two friends set off for the city. They arrived at the city mouse's big house. He offered a feast of beans, cheese, fruit, and figs. The country mouse was amazed. He also was ashamed to be so poor. The two friends were able to eat when they heard a cat meow and scratch at the door. I'm going to reread that. That didn't sound right. The two friends were about to eat when they heard a cat meow and scratch at the door. Run! Cried the frightened city mouse. The mice ran to hide in a crack. A long time later, the two friends crept back to the table. Just as the mice began eating some figs, servants came to clear the plates. The mice dashed to hide in dark holes. Okay, just to go over some vocabulary, servants are basically like people who help in the house and serve the people who live there. Kind of like a housekeeper, they might take care of the food and the cleaning and things like that. When it was quiet, the mice came out. Thank you and goodbye, said the country mouse. I'm going home. I'd rather live in a simple life in peace than a rich life in fear. Very interesting. So, boys and girls, that makes me think, where would I rather live? Would I rather like to have a country life or a city life? This week in your social studies packet, you're going to write about where you would rather live. You get to pick from urban, suburban, or rural communities. Where would you rather live and why? Think about that. Would you prefer to live in the countryside, where you can have a more relaxed life? But maybe it's not as relaxing as you think. Maybe it's actually hard work. Maybe you have to work on a farm, milking cows and taking care of animals and crops. Or maybe you would like to live in a suburban area, where you can drive to the stores and walk to your neighbor's house. Or maybe you would like life like the busy city life. Maybe you enjoy taking the subway to get to places and the busy, noisy city. I wonder what you're going to pick. I can't wait to read about it in your social studies this week.